All right, coach. Moving along, our next start sub sit, we thought it'd be fun to ask you this question. We call it our back to schools question. So we're gonna give you a team, but the rub is you can't run the system. And you alluded to it earlier that maybe you'd go the other way.
Yep.
So start, sub, or sit, these three offenses that you would possibly run with this new team: Princeton, motion, the 5-out motion, or flex.
Gee. I think I'd shove them all. Well, it is interesting. So I probably would start the flex. I only say that because in my weaker moments, remember I told you that when you're halfway through the season and the brake's not working, so what do?
Yeah.
On a couple occasions, I tried to run the flex because, ironically, I kind of have an organized mind, but I kind of like the way the flex goes. It's really nicely organized. I mean, you can see it. And you can practice it, and you can dummy it. Like you do dummy offense, you can do that for 5 minutes. It really looks nice. So the flex is uplifting. And I actually did that in the WNBA one time. I put in the flex, and I had an assistant. Her name was Julie Brasi. She happened to be Lute Olson's granddaughter. She was my assistant. And I put in a flex. I said, Julie, what do you think of the flex? She said, Coach, it's awful. She said, don't do that, Coach, don't. But at least I tried. So I would probably start with the flex. I probably then would sub motion.
Okay.
Because I like that concept, and I see so much of it now. I mean, I just don't know if I could get my players to dribble, penetrate, and not shoot. You want to dribble in, and you pivot, and then you pass it out to somebody. Like but I see it, and it works. And so I like the concept of motion. If we're talking about the same stuff, that's kind of like the John Calipari stuff.
So that would be like, I think you're talking like dribble drive motion.
Yeah.
Versus Pat, we can go either way.
You
like
mean passing
cut? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I was sub motion. No, I misunderstood, but I used to run motion when I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I'd say, okay, guys, this. I like motion. Yeah, because motion, like nobody's at fault. Nobody messes up. You just keep moving, guys. Well, what should I do? Well, go the other way then. I do motion. And the last one would be Princeton because I knew Pete Carril pretty well, and I always admired Pete, but I still don't know what the heck he did. They dribble the ball. If you dribble one way, that means you're reversing and all that kind of stuff. It was too complicated for me, but so I would sit that. But
okay,
real as a coach and as a man, I had great admiration for.
Good stuff.
Coach, my follow up, and I mean, when you said you'd sit all three to start, I guess kind of throwing it on you is. Yeah, I get same parameters. You can't run the system. Is there something you would go to? We haven't talked about it too, but maybe especially the prevalence of the pick and roll in the game today. Where does your kind of thoughts lie on that?
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you what I wanted to do more and more, but I couldn't ever blend it into the system. And that is run drags.
Yeah.
Now, that was a term, and I'm sure both of you are aware of them, but that was a term like 20 plus years ago that people wouldn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah.
So let me explain where I picked this up and what I mean by drag. I coached the Phoenix Mercury, as you know, with the women. And at the same time, the Phoenix Suns was being coached by Mike D'Antoni. Mm-hmm. And by a crazy coincidence, D'Antoni is a fast break guy. I mean, not crazy coincidence, but here we are, two coaches in the same town. coaching, men and women. And I would go and watch his practice. He had an interest. He would come and watch my practice. He would come to my games. And obviously I went to his games. So we kind of interacted. And I would go and watch his practice. And that's when he had Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah.
And they would run drags. And just, without a chalkboard and everything, it's like, here comes the ball with your point guard, and the big man goes quickly and about a half court cuts right in front of him. And then he drags off them. He comes off the movement of the big guy going through. Mm-hmm. It's such a simple technique, but the havoc it causes, because that big man is kind of running right at the defender of the guard, or right behind him, or right between him and on the move. And now your guard has new life. He can do what he wants. And then after the big guy drags, he can cut to the basket. He can flare out. He can go to the corner. He can do what he wants. And the point guard's kind of has a new sense of freedom. So I put in drags for my fast break, like off free throws. And then you can get clever and you can run double drags. So I would run my wings down. I'd bring my point guard. I'd run my 4-man off, and then I'd run my 5-man off, and the point guard would go dragging off both of them. And I owe all of it to D'Antoni, and I really, really like it. It's going to get you an opening for doing nothing.
Right.
So, and I'll show you. And I was going to come back to my buddy, and now I got a chance to talk about him. I worked with PJ Carlesimo with the Golden State Warriors, and then the Seattle Supersonics. And then we eventually went to Oklahoma City for a cup of coffee, and we both got fired down there. But anyway, PJ he called me Gringo. I say, Gringo, you got 5 minutes to put the break in. So every practice I'd have like 5 minutes to run my fast break. Okay. Yeah. So then I said, hey, PJ, we got this. I want to show you the drags. I said, they're really good. So I showed it to him. He said, why, we can't do that. That's an offensive foul. And it is. He's right. Because your big guy is running right into the defender. He literally picks him off. I said, yeah, but PJ, I said, if you go fast enough, the officials don't see it. They're not ready. They're not. He said, that's bullshit, man. I ain't going to do that. We can't do that. That's an offensive foul. No. So he for the right reason, he turned down my drags. But he was right, but I was right.
Absolutely.
And I am saying this true. We got away with a lot of things in our fast break, and drags would be an example. If you do it fast enough, you don't get caught.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it. It sounds like, oh, yeah, you're a big cheater. No, not a cheater.
No.
It's just the flow goes so fast that you don't get caught. In our fast break, we would take the ball out on made baskets or made free throws. We took it out so fast that many times my 5-man wasn't out of bounds.
Right.
Follow?
Yeah.
But the official wasn't ready to see it.
He's trying to run up the court.
Yeah, he was trying to. I got to get down the court, man. I got no time to watch where this guy has both feet out of bounds. But if you take it out slowly, he'll see it. He'll see your toe is on the line. But anyway, I love drags.
Okay.
I would imagine officials always love seeing that they got you guys as a game to ref when they see the schedule and they needed to get in shape.
Yeah.